Good evening, everyone. My name is Mike McAtee. I'm the Executive Director of USA Boxing. First of all, I want to thank you all for coming. I know some of you had to stand outside in the cold, so I apologize for that. A couple of things, just some housekeeping information to let you know a little bit of how this is going to work. We sent out a request for questions, and we got a lot of great questions. Some of them were very similar, so we've combined them. And then some of them had some specific stories to them, so we kind of made them generalized questions that would apply to USA Boxing membership as a whole. We appreciate you being here. We're also live streaming this, so if we have people at home that wants to watch this, that they would be able to watch it. People will be there. So we'll get started. I want to introduce Angel Villarreal, who's our board of director, and let him talk a little bit, and then also Ray Silvas, who's on our board of directors.
How you doing? As Mike said, my name is Angel Villarreal. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I am the LBC representative on the board. My term is running up at the end of this year, but I'll be running again, and God willing, things will work out. It's always a pleasure to address the membership. It's a privilege that we work in a privileged sport. It's the best sport in the world. We all know that, and hopefully we can answer some of your questions today, clear up some of your things that are hopefully quench some rumors or facts, or just to give you the answers from the horse's mouth, so to say, because I know you hear a lot of things, and hopefully we can give some clarification and answer your questions to some of these issues. Thank you.
I'm Ray Silvas. I'm the AIBA representative on the board of directors. So I'm kind of a last-minute add-on to this Q&A, but if there's any questions regarding AIBA, or I saw one of the questions having to do with the protest rule, I can help answer that. Anything with refereeing and judging as well.
Thank you, Ray and Angel. We'll get started, and again, a lot of these questions, are not a lot, but we had some duplicates. So being able to bring them together to try to save some time. We have a big day of boxing tomorrow, and we're all excited to be here with our officials and coaches. So first of all, thank you all for coming. And those of you who are watching this, we also appreciate you taking the time. First question that came in, it says, can we compete in this tournament next year? What was the path to try for U.S. Olympic team? The question is, and as we determined it to be boxers, elite age boxers over the age of 18, this tournament being the national championships / Olympic trials that will be held in December 2019. The pathway or the qualification process for that will be posted on our website, and there are some other components of it, but the general concept of the pathway to compete next year at the national championships at the elite level would be the two boxers, 1 and 2 in the weight divisions, the elite weight divisions in Salt Lake City 18, our Western qualifier 1s and 2s, our Eastern qualifiers 1s and 2s, our last chance qualifier 1s and 2s. So they'll have a field of 8 in the weight classes, and that's how you would be able to qualify. The most important thing is, if you have a question or you want specific details, all our pathways or all our regulations are on our website. Shoot us an email, go to the website. If you can't find them, we can always send you a link. So that's real important. One of the questions was, how did elite athletes earn a spot to compete in the 2018 national championships? Once AIBA voted upon and the official Olympic weight classes were determined, 8 males and 5 females, we immediately contacted the ombudsman's office and came up with a process by which would be fair because IEBA had our International Federation at the direction of the IOC to increase weight classes. So we notified all members that you had ways to either change weight classes or move, because some weight classes were combined, female weight classes were expanded, and so all those processes were vetted and were approved. And so how you were able to move, the specific questions were posted, and people applied because of the regulations to be able to compete. It's a great question. What USA Boxing staff member picks who is on Team USA? Boxing is one of the few sports that are competition is the main criteria to earn a spot on to qualify for the Olympics. The exact process is done by competition. There is a rating process that is conducted by our coaching staff, but all the details of how to earn your spot, which is not selected, but earning your spot is with our selection process, which is also will be on our website. It's a little bit different right now because how we're going to get to the Olympic Games, and then we also have some challenges with weight classes for the Pan Am Games. So all of coaches, we would tell you, and any boxer who is over the age of 18 needs to really watch for announcements. Make sure your emails are up to date. It's how we communicate with our 42,000 members. And then the different information will be posted on our website. And for all elite boxers and coaches, once we have the selection process approved, it'll be sent to you all.
The next question that came in was, is there any movement or progress on the issue of protesting decisions or actions of a referee or judge during a bout? There is something that exists today where a supervisor can initiate what's called a bout review. And basically what that bout review is all about is if the supervisor observes a referee doing something, makes a mistake that's against the rules of AIBA, then he can initiate a bout review. So the videos would be watched, the evaluators would meet with the supervisor, and if they deem that the referee acted inappropriately and could have affected the decision, then the decision can be overturned. As far as a new protest procedure that is now being worked out by the Technical Rules Commission, it's still in the planning phases. They're still trying to establish tournaments to pilot it on. But this new procedure will not only allow coaches or teams to be able to protest a decision of a referee, but also a decision of the judges. There's a lot of work in progress to get that done. It's going to take a while. I saw the presentation at our AIBA Congress a couple of weeks ago, and I think the presentation was about 12 slides long. So there's so many different steps in what needs to happen in order to get it finalized. But just know that the needs of the national federations and coaches was listened to. They are working on this procedure, so it's just work in progress by the Technical Rules Commission.
The question we received applies to, in the way the question was read to us or sent to us, was regarding on our national tournaments, we put in there no passbook, no boxing. That is a huge requirement for our national championships. We understand we're putting on 6 different national tournaments in a year, but USA Boxing at the local level, we put on over 1,600 sanctionings or sanctioned events or boxing days. And we do have a common sense rule that can be applied more at the local level. One of the biggest things, and what I've learned the most from Angel when it comes to local boxing, is if everybody has in the back of their mind, first and foremost, the number one concern is the safety of the boxer. The number two component is, does someone receive a competitive advantage by a decision that is made, a discretionary decision that's made by the chief of officials. What this means is if we have a boxer who would show up at a local show, they did not have their passbook for whatever reason, it was lost, the leadership or the LBC or the chief of the officials, if they can verify that the boxer is a member in good standing, they do not have a restriction affidavit, the chief of official could make the ultimate decision if that boxer could box or not. That is a local decision. We would highly encourage in the idea of passbooks, or so we're able to track boxers' bouts, and it's very, very important. But there are ways that can occur on a very limited basis. With the two most important parts, did one boxer receive a competitive advantage, or would it affect the safety of the bout? Had a question in regarding to the staffing of our events, the number of staff that we have at these events. I'll give you a little background story. In 2016, the board of directors, and then again in 2017, made a mandate to myself and our staff that customer service is the most important thing that we can do for our members. Making the decision of how tournaments were run in the past, where USA Boxing staff may only show up the day before, we found that would cause an enormous amount of stress on our boxers, our coaches, and our officials. So I made the decision to be able to come out early, a couple of days, and there are thousands of little details that are put on so boxers, coaches, officials can have tournaments like today that the draw went very smoothly. We got through all our general weigh-in in a little over 2 hours and 45 minutes. And so the determination of having staff on site, bringing in officials in to be able to do all the preparatory work to put 725 boxers through check-in and then weigh-in, and do everything that we possibly can to make this a smoother, that determination. One of the questions also is, why do some of our staff sleep in single rooms and officials sometimes double up? The reason is our staff works 14 to 18 hours a day. They're on different schedules. And my thought is to be able to provide the best customer service to the members is that I want well-rested workers. I want well-rested officials, and that we've made that decision. We have parameters within our budget. We're always working with our board of directors to make sure that we're very conscious of your money. 3/4 of our budget comes from membership dues. So we are conscious of that, and it's a balance of providing great customer service, putting on great events for our boxers, coaches, and officials, and then being good stewards of your money.
One of the questions is, and it's a very good one, what can be done to put boxing back in the high schools? First of all, it's part of our strategic plan. It's always in the back of our mind, and we're always trying to create initiatives, and that's one of them that we would really like to get off the ground. We're pushing and moving forward towards fitness boxing as well. And with the high school, it's more of a local thing. We have thousands of high schools throughout the country. Each high school has a different board of directors, or each LBC or each state or each city. A lot of them have different board of directors, different type of people, different type of personalities, with all different type of beliefs. We have some schools that are interested in organizing high school sports, and what I encourage anybody that wants to start an initiative at home to visit your high schools, gain their support. If you need us or staff from the office to speak to them via teleconference or webinar or however, we can do that. We can assist you in every way possible. I believe there are schools out there that are looking for this, and I believe that all we do is have to get out there, do some legwork, go to these high schools, present yourself as a USA Boxing member, and then again, once you hit a roadblock, if you hit a roadblock or if it just goes smoothly, make sure that you count on the office staff, Mike and everybody else there, for support. We can send you support letters. We can have you speak to the executive director of USA Boxing if that's what they like. But we support you 110% in that endeavor, but it's going to require a little legwork because again, it's the schools and school boards are so diverse in every state. So again, it would be if you're really interested in this initiative, I suggest getting your LBC board involved, getting your LBC president involved, and start knocking on some of these high school doors. Yes, sir.
I started an ASB club back in 2003 in Sanger. It was called the Sanger High Boxing Club.
Could you stand up, sir?
And what I did was really cool was because I was trying to promote my gym. So I started an ASB club in the high school. And they allowed me to do it. I had to have one representative for my club. And then you had to have a teacher to be a representative also. But I had like 40 kids. Nobody sparred, nobody trained. All we did was talk about boxing, and we did a little bit of fundamentals, and then we were able to go to a couple of field trips. Oscar de la Hoya threw a show in Fresno one time, and we were able to get discounted tickets. But it was a really cool thing because the kids were able to get T-shirts, and it was just a social club for kids at the high school. We met once a week at lunchtime, and there was like 40 kids just in that. And a couple of them would come and join the club, but it was mostly just a social club, and it really promoted my gym. And it was a really cool thing. And I think that would be a really cool thing to get your foot in a high school if you wanted to start something like that.
And how did you initiate that?
I went, talked to the principal, and we had a gym in Sanger for a lot of years. It's still there today. It's been in existence since 1978. And I was one of the founders of that gym. But, you know, it was just going, talking to the principal, talking to the sports director, because they all have directors, and then getting them to see what your program is about. And, you know, there's a lot of footwork. You have to get the kid first. There has to be a kid that's involved, and then you have to have an election. You know, you have to have a president, secretary, just the kids are involved. And that was it. And we put it in the school, and the kids, we just put it out there, who wants to be involved, and all the kids just started signing up. Kids that never boxed, never wanted to box, but they just were sports fans. Cool.
Thank you. And keep in mind, when people hear boxing, they think of pro boxing. They think about the bout they just watched on Showtime with the guy's eyes hanging down to his cheekbone. Or you know what I mean? This is what they get. You know, so we have to explain what we are, how safe we are, that we are Olympic-style boxing, that we are not there's apples and oranges. Professional and Olympic-style boxing is two different worlds. All our safety equipment that we use, all the things that protect our athletes. And like he said, these kids didn't even box. There's kids that just want to know how to throw a jab, how to throw a right hand, how to just to defend themselves. So it doesn't even, I mean, if the school is really offensive and really skeptical about it, tell them this can be done without having any contact. Yes, Jackie.
So, Angel, you mentioned no contact. So, some of the schools are open to pilot programs, which you can bring the boxing into the school, into a gym facility, and you start off with the basics on the floor, and the elevation of the program migrates to the local gyms. need assistance, a suggestion would be to create just a small video clip where you speak about the advantages. I mean, when we speak of bullying and all the things that are going on in the school system, having something that you can present to their board or to the principal as far as the benefits of boxing, how it lifts the self-esteem and all the things it does for our youth, I think that would be very helpful. So we're all on the same page. So I started with 3 schools in New Jersey, and they're very open to bringing programs in, at least the pilot programs. But having that support, so we're not calling you with a million requests, because now we're going to go up and try to promote it.
It's a great thing.
Yeah, but give us something that we can use and present to them. I think that would be very helpful.
Thanks, Jackie. Just so everyone knows, and we'll be rolling out at the first of the year a fitness memberships for USA Boxing. A lot of our coaches do fitness classes as a way to earn money for their gyms. That will be coming out. We'll be doing like a one-page summary of all the benefits of having a fitness membership in your gyms. A lot of times people come in and want to work out. Adults, they don't want to spar. And this will be able to give you an opportunity for each gym or club to raise a little bit of money. But more importantly, it also gives them an opportunity that you have some insurance. One of the things that we've done in the past, and we were contacted by a coach, he had set up 3 boxing programs in the high schools. He'd reached out to their athletic department, and once a week, they went in, shadow box, they worked out for an hour, they did punch mitts, and it was no sparring, that type of thing. The most important part is, so your insurance, your USA Boxing membership, your gym, if you have ABC Gym and you're going to do it at a high school, you'll need to get a gym membership for ABC High School, DEF High School, so individually, so that the locations can receive insurance. We'll work on putting together a one-pager. It's actually, Chad Weigel's been working on that, of just the benefits of fitness boxing. And then as we move forward, we'll be working on more of what we can tailor to different high schools. So we'll have that opportunity. Currently, right now, the question is what would be a fitness membership? And I believe, and this is subject to change, I can't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but essentially it would be for under the age of 18, $25. Over the age of 18, I believe it's $35. $20 would go to USA Boxing, and $5 would go back to the club that was doing the fitness membership. I don't know if that's the exact numbers, but under 18 is a little less than over 18. Otha?
Several attempts to just in tournaments to try to talk to my fighter in between meals, and that wasn't efficient. I couldn't sit down with my fighters to have lunch because they said the budget, they didn't have enough for the budget. My question is, could there be some way that we can have budgets for coaches that have fighters and some kind of bridge between where the staff is more warm to the coaches, the ones who brought them there, the ones who pays the membership, the ones who pays their gym fees, and so on and so forth. So is there any way the coaches can have a hand in trying to win a gold medal?
I think there's a couple of different questions there. I'll try to answer them real quick, but we'd like to stay on point. One, we're talking high performance budgeting in regards to our athletes. We're also grassroots. First of all, every coach that ever had a boxer come into their gym that was good enough, experienced enough, and as part of the high performance squad, I'm a firm believer that their starting coach, their first sparring partner, and everybody has a hand in their success. And as we move forward, budgeting process, we're in it, working on it for next year. I can tell you that, if we're always open to suggestions. If you have some ideas, we can jump on a conference call and try to work that into the budget for 2020. So we're always open for suggestions from membership. The process for going through the budget process is a year-long process, so we could start on it in January if you like for 2020. Sure. And we'll start on a conference call and get your ideas, or if you want to send me an email, we can start that way. Okay?
$25 for 17 and under, and 35 for above, and each gym will receive $5 for each fitness membership that you get.
And so that was in the newsletter? All right, thank you. Next question. As a DACA recipient, I'd like to know if an athlete can travel out of the country for national competitions. DACA is a federal law for individuals who have received status within the United States. To be a member of Team USA, you have to be an American citizen. When it comes to traveling outside of the country or being a member that would be part of Team USA, you would have to be a U.S. citizen. So a DECA recipient would not be able to get it at this time until they were able to become a citizen. And I think, Angel, you had was it 3 years that they had to be, from IEBA standpoint, that they have to be a citizen of the United States? I think it used to be 2.
To reside in that country for 3 years.
So,
Yeah, it is.
3 years. Correct. We've received this question quite a bit over the last year, and it's regarding to beards with religious exemptions for advancing tournaments, the shaving rule. There's been a lot of work on this, and when we currently last year started a religious exemption pilot program, some of those being for individuals who choose not to shave, modest dress for females, and again, the initial component of that was, does it give one boxer a competitive edge and the safety of the boxer? Based upon the information we received from our RJ's commissions, buy-in from our medical commissions, we do currently allow religious exemptions. We need to get the paperwork. It's in the rule book. It's on the website. It needs to be submitted to USA Boxing 7 days beforehand. And the reason that is one, to make sure that we have all our paperwork in, and then also the notification of the LBC and the chief of officials, so everybody is notified, so we do not cause more stress to the boxer. So there are certain steps, and we working forward. When it comes to advancing tournaments, currently IEBA, our international partner, also requires right now that you do have to be clean shaven. So our national tournaments that lead the qualifying for here, we must follow those rules. When it comes to advancing tournaments that do not lead to international competition, such as the Golden Gloves of America, I've spoken to their franchises and they're holders of what they believe they want to do. We're also consulting with attorneys. We want to be more inclusive but we also want to make sure we're safe and we don't give anybody competitive advantage. So we are working to that end.
We have a question from Bernard Bruni, and one of our members. He said, I would like to know what can be done to a registered boxer or a club that consistently pulls boxers from a club show less than 24 hours before the show's scheduled start time. Unfortunately, on that one, we have no legal right to fine anybody in any way, shape, or form. They're all volunteers, and they're all, it's a volunteer sport. We can't make somebody box. They're not signing a contract. They're not collecting money. So it's hard to hold somebody accountable that's just doing it because they like the sport or love the sport. What I would suggest is, as we do in my LBC, being an LBC president, we strongly encourage the coaches to work together, and we tell the coaches, we're each other's lifeblood. We run these events to keep our gyms open. So if a coach is going to cancel a bout, just have the common courtesy to call the host, the promoter, because he's counting and riding on you to be there. And it could be the highlight bout of the night and so forth. But work together, show each other some common courtesy. And like I do at home, if I have and we're saying coaches, but in this event, to defend the coaches, I know we've got a lot of coaches that'll go by, pick up the kids in the morning, and nobody comes out of the house. I mean, there's not much you can do there. We've had boxers that go to the event, actually show up for the weigh-in, go out to lunch, and never come back. It's once they get to that point, once you start knocking on the door, they'll start looking at the ring, and 5 hours later, you're going to walk down the aisle and get in the ring. Some people just think, well, maybe I made a mistake, or maybe it's not for me. And boxing is a competitive sport, and some people change their mind. It happens. It's just the nature of the sport. But if I personally have a club that keeps canceling on me, I just don't even include them in my agenda. At some point, I just say, when you're ready, come to me. We're here. But legally, we have no legal right to actually fine somebody. And a lot of these are kids. And again, a lot of it is not the coaches. A lot of it is that the kids are just not showing up when the coach picks them up. So, yes, sir.
Let's say we have a coach who has his team in a tournament, and in the semifinal, he has a lot of guys destined towards the final. And in the semifinal, one of his guys doesn't get the decision that he felt he deserves, and then he pulls, 10 of his guys out of the tournament after that, disrupting the tournament. Is there something that can be done about that?
I would say no, because again, there's no contracts were signed, no legal documents, we have no legal backbone there. But I mean, at that point, it does happen. But you have one group that's really upset, and you have one group that's really happy because they just walked into the finals without even having to box. I mean, that's a very selfish move if somebody would do that, because these kids are there, they're training every day. Because he's upset, he's not letting the kids box. But does that happen? Yes. And there's any recourse? No. But it's a lose-lose for that coach. It's a lose-lose for his boxers. Yes, sir.
Some kind of coaches organization that starts a coaching membership. When you start the coaching membership within USA Boxing, and you award points for guys that shows up 100 miles away for a show. And at the end of the year, the association will help the coaches travel to the tournaments. And if they don't come within that membership, they'll get penalized something, $100 or something, and it goes to the membership to go back into the coaching. Do you think that would be a good idea to combat those kind of things if we good for them at the end of the year? Do you think that would help that situation?
Sounds like an LBC initiative, and yeah, collectively with the LBC. The problem you're going to have is it sounds great internally, LBC. You can create that initiative with a coaches club, members and coaches committee. You have the ability to do that. The problem is going to be when it's time to collect the fines. No one's going to pay because we can't deny them the right to compete. So it's a good thought, and maybe you can get a group in your LBC to come up with something that rewards people. I mean, and that's what you're looking for. I mean, even a point system, even in your internal state, even maybe creating if you guys do all this and you come up with the top points, maybe we'll seed you for a local event. So there are ways to work rewards, and there are a way to actually not really penalize, but not getting the favor.
Let me add one more thing on that, Greg. Remember, each member or the Board of Governors at your LBC level, when it comes to those type of programs, I think it would be excellent if the coaches got together from the board of directors or Board of Governors, come up with a plan, present it to your LBC leaders, because the fees that you pay, a lot of them go back, over $1 million goes back to the LBCs every year, depending on the size of your LBC. So I think that would be a great pilot program, and if you could do it through your local LBC, and that may be something to be able to grow. One of the big challenges, and Jackie made a point, a pilot program is great because you work out the little details. 53 LBCs, at this level, it would be unmanageable, but I do think, like Angel said, if you did it at the LBC level, it'd be really good.
One of the things that we had thought about, this is just another thought, I mean, this could be a good process to begin, is why not have a entry fee? So for instance, a coach puts up $15, and when he brings his boxer to the shelf, he gets his $15 back. I mean, that's one thought. Your no money exchange, basically, if the first boxer doesn't show up, somehow you put that money aside for something else, But that's another thought you can think of. Another way is like an entry fee. I realize some gyms suffer financially, and other gyms don't have that problem. So that could be another thought process. It could be something that he was talking about as coaches and LBCs.
And I would bring that up at the LBC level. I think it's a great idea. Okay. One of the questions that came in, it was asking, I'd like to know when the LBC presidents will vote for national officers. It's very timely. We have 3 positions that are open for election this year. Angel had said earlier his position is up for re-election. We also have the group membership to the board of directors is up this year, and then we have an athlete election that's coming up this year. So I would highly encourage everyone we'll be sending out information for nominations. If you have athletes who would qualify, and it's very specific criteria for elite athletes to be on the board of directors, that will be being sent out here shortly. Please be keep on a lookout for it. If you have a boxer that would meet the criteria to be able to be on the board of directors, we need great athlete support, and then we'll be looking for nominations. So that question's very timely. That'll be going out to our nominations governance committee, and then for voting by the LBC presidents for their representative. I think that's. We kind of already, another school administrator accept boxing tournaments as justified absence. Again, if we could do the work beforehand, Mike Campbell and Taryn, for this tournament, you would have noticed if you had a boxer that was under the age of 18, you should have gotten a letter automatically when they registered that said that they were here, an excuse letter. Some schools accept them, some do not, that they're going to be traveling. What we would suggest, and if we can do something to help in the future, is contact your boxers' principals, their counselors, and say, look, we are going to go to this national championship this date, and try to work out a way to be able to get their homework, make sure that the student doesn't miss assigned work. One of our discussions that we've had preliminarily, I shouldn't try to say that word because I never say it right, is that we, at the Olympic Training Center for our boxers that are there, we have mandatory study hall, and we provide tutors for them. One of the discussions we've thought about is having study hall at national tournaments where we could schedule a couple hours every day. If it would, maybe we could get officials or coaches or parents who would assist as being tutors. And then we're also going to look into the opportunity of maybe hiring tutors to help our boxers if they're going to be missing school for a while. So I think that's one of our initiatives to be able to make sure kids can keep up with their work and then also be able to box at the same time. We have a question about the IEBA one-star coaching courses in the U.S. I will tell you, tomorrow morning, we are having a high-performance information session for all the elite athletes and coaches that have elite athletes because of our process for next year, being an Olympic year, as we're doing qualifying and then also PMM. We can also do some discussions about how coaches can apply for IEBA one-star process. I will tell you, we were able to have one clinic or one-star IEBA one-star course this year. We are trying to have another one, and a lot of it depends on the timing of IEBA and their calendar, that they have certain clinicians that come out. So that can also be given a little bit more detail tomorrow. Yes.
Vice President and clinician. Since we're on this subject, I have an abundance. We have abundance of coaches, level 1 coaches, that's been hounding me for the last 3 years or so. When is USA Boxing formulating a level 2 test so we can elevate?
The question was, when is USA Boxing coming in with a new level 2 course or test? I will tell you that we've been working on this for over a year. The last update to coaches' education was 1984. Getting the original documentation, nothing was electronic. We had to retype things. I will tell you, will roll out within the first quarter of next year a new coaching education system. It'll be introductory, bronze, silver, and gold. As part of that education, we will have clinicians to be able to do it. It'll be a combination of online and then also in-person courses. So you'll have not only some classroom, but some hands-on. And also as part of that coaching education, we have probably over 50 videos, the 75 videos that all USA Boxing coaches will have access to, which will go from just bare basics to high performance, nutrition, weight training, and we're right in the middle of the final edits of that program. So it should be rolling out in the first quarter of this year. Real good question, and at least the the snow stopped. The question is, could USA Boxing take into consideration weather when choosing a location for winter tournaments? And you're exactly right. We do take weather as one of the considerations. Salt Lake City, when they came to us 2 years ago and said that they wanted to put on our national championships, put together a very good bid. And they've been great partners, and we're excited to have a 2-year commitment here. I will tell you, next year we are having a new location for our national championship. I am hopeful we will have the contract signed or be able to be far enough in our negotiations that we'll be able to announce where the 2019 National Championships Olympic Games will be held. And if things go the way we believe it will go, you won't need your winter coat. The question is, will our national championships and Olympic trials be combined like this year? I will tell you that we're looking at it in the sheer numbers. There'll probably be, we don't know yet. We do believe that this is the best opportunity for economy of scale to be able to have as much participation. But these tournaments next year, not only do we're going to add another national event to provide opportunities for grassroots boxers or starting boxers or novice boxers, we also have to do the combination of making sure that our officials that are judging will be at the top of their game also during the Olympic trials. So there is quite a bit of discussion. It'll be a little different format, but we're still committed to providing our grassroots boxing as many opportunities as we can. So we're going to have to try to control the numbers. And so there will be a little bit different format for the national championships. We believe, just so everybody knows and just to reiterate, March is our Western Trials. It'll be held in Reno, Nevada. Our Junior Olympics will be in Madison, Wisconsin. We'll make the announcement, I'm hopeful, by the end of the week for our national championships. And then we'll have also our Eastern qualifier and our last chance qualifier that we're finalizing those. We're hopeful that by the end of February, our total calendar will be set. Okay. Last question that we received, it said, why are boxers from the same state matched at national events? We do have a rule, and Mike Campbell and whoever does the draw at national events, we cannot guarantee that boxers from the same state can be put at the opposite ends of the brackets. We do have a rule in effect that says if you have two boxers from the same gym in the same weight class and you make notification before the draw is done, those boxers, when the draw is done, if they're competing in their first bout, there'll be another draw. They could compete in the second round of the tournament, but they will definitely be separated. So if you have a big gym or several boxers or a couple of boxers in the same weight class, please, please, please attend the technical meeting in the draw. And when your boxer's weight class comes up, make sure whoever's doing the draw, they're notified. That way we don't want you to travel halfway across the country and have your boxers from your gym compete on the first round. So that is in the works. So I hope that answers the question.
Once the draw is initiated, the draw is final. So with that exception that Mike explained, there shouldn't be any manipulation in the draw. Anytime you withdraw, someone is not going to be happy. So with that, besides that criteria that Mike gave, there really is no option to redraw. And the question is from the same state. Some people, and even the same state, it's like 900 miles apart, some areas. So they really don't see each other that much. But it's just the draw, and we can't manipulate a draw. The draw is very transparent. It's done electronically, and there's no way we can manipulate it in any way, shape, or form. So if the two members from the same club it does come up, which is, as Mike stated, the only USA rule that would supersede the draw procedure.
Our officials, Ray and Angel, are also busy. We have other things to do as we're preparing. I think these events give us an opportunity, and Angel talked about it today, that to be able to answer your questions. What we will be doing as we move forward, we'd like to schedule more Q&As, but to be able to help to be respectful for everybody's time and address your questions, because sometimes we get questions that take a little bit of research. Please be aware. We will ask that you email questions in so we're able to do this more often as we move forward. I think this is a great opportunity, and we come up with some great ideas that help grow our sport. I would encourage all coaches who have elite athletes to show up tomorrow morning for the HP meeting, because there's going to be some real important information as we move forward in 2019 for our next season. So again, thank you all for being here, and have a good night.